The guy did not listen. 1 year, I spoke to him. He told me that, I said, what if you lose your job? He said, that last year, I was the top this and that. I was the top that and that. And I made a statement. I said, now you are saying you can never lose your job. What if the market sack your bank? He said, it's not possible. The next year, bank consolidation. That bank is no more today. The day he lost his job and came to my office, he was crying downstairs. Why was he crying? After all the good things he has done, they let him go. And they gave him, was it 24 million or so? That with that 24 million, if he had given me 20, I can make him a billionaire. But he was crying. And I said, I'm for 24. You know what? Okay, for maybe 20. I started telling him what we can do with 20 million. He said, oh, look, oh, yeah. My rent is 6 million. So by the time we pay rent for 2 years, 12 million is gone. His children are in schools that he cannot afford. When the guy was in my office crying, what he was crying about was not even the loss of the job. He was calling the name of his wife. Bimbo my familiar. That's not the wife's name. Bimbo my familiar. Bimbo legia. He was crying because, you see, many of you think you have a wife. You don't have a wife. You have a knife. The only reason why you think you are married is because you can afford to pay the bills. Wait until there is no money. You will know whether you have a wife or not. And guess what? By the time he got back home, Bimbo said, so what's the plan? The Bimbo still left him with 2 children, left for America. The guy is single. He just remarried 2 years ago now. His life is out of order. So that is their problem. They don't understand financial intelligence. They are exchanging time and energy for money instead of making money work for them. That's the key.
Wow. I also want us to take a cursory look at something. Let's imagine in a country like Nigeria, somebody earning around, say, 250, 300, that band. There's a tendency, or maybe it's a cultural wiring that makes you feel that you don't have much to put aside. And there are legitimate, like our pastor will say, there are so many legitimacies in our lives that make us make wrong decisions. I need to pay school fees, I need to do this. That if somebody looks at what you have done with the money, they won't say, some people say, and I don't drink, I don't carry women. And so many things want to take that money out of your purse, into your past. Can you help us take a look at, say, somebody in that band and say, these are the areas where your money is really going the wrong way?
Like Grace said earlier on, one of the uniqueness of what we have done is that we are not theoreticians. We are practitioners. I can give you name, phone number of people you can call now that earn 100,000, 200,000, and they are stupendously wealthy. Why? Because they know what others don't know. I just give you an example of my PAs here. Look at, right there, you have palm tree there. 6 million per acre, 15 million per hectare. Anybody that brings somebody to buy one, you are getting 10%. So that means all you need is a network. Uncle, they are selling land, oh, this is the document, oh, your lawyer can go and check, oh, this is the form, fill it. If your uncle buys 1 acre, you are getting 600. If your neighbor buys 1 hectare, you are getting 1.5 million, even though your salary is 100,000. So there are people working for me, earning 150, collecting 15 million every month. Why? Because they are using their network to bring turnover to the company and getting their own portion. So it's financial intelligence that we need. Then let's break it down. What are the 3 major things that takes money from people? Accommodation, roof over your head, feeding, and then school fees. You have to settle it that you have to stay within your level. You are not going to be there forever, but you must stay there. So let's start
school.
Let's start with accommodation.
Because that gets a lot of people.
I'm coming there. Let's start with accommodation. You are a man and a woman with 1 child. What are you doing in a 2-bedroom? What are you doing in a 3-bedroom? What are you doing in a highbrow area that you cannot pay for? Any rent you need help to pay is too expensive. Any rent you need prayer point to pay is too expensive. Find a location that is suitable to your income. Some people need to leave Lagos and relocate to Ogun State, go to Ibadan.
And they can still become wealthy.
Life and direct. Because technology eliminates villages.
Come on.
You can do transfer from anywhere. You can be on Wi-Fi from anywhere. So all this Lagos is a olden days mindset. Just like Ekolowa. No, that's olden days theory. You can be anywhere. So number one is to look for accommodation that works for you. You can do fractional ownership. You can have a 3-bedroom apartment. One room is your own. One of my houses in the UK is a 3-bedroom with a penthouse. The penthouse is there. I stayed there with my family once in a while if we want to stay in the place. But we rented one room out, room by room. Each of those rooms are being rented by families. In Lagos today, I have children that are doing that all over. So you don't need to have a whole house of your own. If it's only one room you can have. Parlor will be our general parlor. Kitchen will be our general kitchen. It is still better than tenement face me and face you. Do you understand that? So find the accommodation that works for you. There are people in Lagos living under the bridge, they did not die. They are living in wooden houses, they did not die. Start from somewhere. Number 2, feeding. He said, you know, I have to eat 3 square meals. Is 3 a square or a triangle? Where do you have the idea that you must eat 3? If it's only one you can eat, square it. Because you don't live to eat, you eat to live. Even those that are not hungry will be telling you, where's my lunch? Are you hungry? So you look at your expenses and you cut it down. Eat what you can eat. Some of you are eating meat. You don't need to eat. You don't need meat. When we were growing up, there are different kinds of food that we ate that brought us to where we are. There is what we call ilalasepo, concussion. So that one, you will now cut the okra, big. The okra will look like meat.
God bless.
To give you a psychological. Then when you want to do, rice, we do concussion. You just mix atagungu, and if you can get some shower, just put it, and then cut small. Just give yourself psychological relief. And then you can do konkere. You get beans. One for me, see. You let the water of the beans be more. You now put gari inside. It will now soak it. It will now be so. By the time you take like 4 spoons, you now drink 2 pure water. It will now enlarge inside you. But we are here today. Do you understand now? Then we now go to school. Please, I beg you. Who told you your children must go to school?
Say it again.
Who told you your children must go to school?
Did you hear what I heard?
Let's face reality. The first medical doctor, who gave him certificate? The first lawyer, who certified the first lawyer? The first accountant, who was his own lecturer? Everything you are embracing today, somebody started it. So the first thing you need to do is to understand the main education that anybody needs is good home training and having an understanding of the way the world works. If your children can go through elementary school, they are good. Once they finish primary school like this, as a parent, your responsibility is to discover their giftings and talent and potential. By the time they are supposed to be going to secondary school, look for what their talent is and push them in that direction. So if that's your young boy is finishing school at the age of 12, 13, and you realize that, okay, I may not be able to do secondary school, can he go and learn a trade? Can he go and learn something? If it's fashion, can he go to fashion school? If it's electronic, can he go to electronic school? Okay, let's say he has even finished secondary school. Do you know that right now, POP, tiling, electrical, plumbing, these guys are doing millions. And there are people that went to school, nothing. School is not a scam, but the curriculum is a scam. Because most of what they are teaching you, 80% of what you learn in school is useless when you graduate. The word that existed when you went to school, that word will not exist when you finish school. So instead of carrying your children, I want to go to school, and many of you are in private school. If the school fees you are paying for your children, you need fasting and prayer to pay, the school fees is too expensive. And you start with all this jealousy, kindergarten. There is homeschooling. There are so many things you can do. And I've mentioned this thing. You are married to a man. 2 of you, you are married. All the work you are doing, you now carry like 50% of that money to pay rent. Another 30% to pay school fees. So 80% of your income is going on 2 items. Why can't somebody stay at home and homeschool the child? Why not? Whether husband or wife. And let the person whose career can bring more income face that one. Because see, there are things we need to rethink. Because at the end of the day, they go to school, they graduate, they don't have a job. They now go and do master, they become master over nothing. Because the educational system is created as an assembly line for producing job seekers, not job creators. So the curriculum is skewed towards. So by the time you finish after primary school, secondary school, university, after spending about 21 years, You now graduate. The first letter you write is I beg to apply. So you spend 21 years to be a beggar. So we have to, as a family, have that rethink. And then it will help us to now know how to manage all the things we have. And no matter what, even if you are doing 250, 150, once you know how to make more money, you'll be amazed. Like I give you an example now, at how you can make more money than that 150 or that 250 that you're making. Then if from that 250, you are just putting 25,000, 10% is all you need to save. If you are saving 10% of your income, because our grandparents and those that have come before us, they didn't go to school. You know, in Lagos now, the illiterates are the landlord, the educated ones are the tenants. They didn't go to school, but they had financial intelligence, they had common sense. They knew that this money I'm making, go to the market, go to my 12 here, go to Ojuwoye, go to Mushi. There are people that are not earning as much as you earn. They don't have the kind of education you have, but they understand this law. Every day, one job, 1,000 a day, 2,000 a day. At the end of the month, the guy collecting the 1,000 will come, they are supposed to collect 31. The guy will collect 10% and give them 27. That 27, they will not spend it. They have another Esusu that they are doing 2020 or 25. So as they are collecting that 27, want that 25. That 25 in 10 months, Omako 250. As they are collecting that 250, they are not spending it. They are either using it to pay school fees for their child, or they are using it to make a deposit for a land in the village that they are using to farm tomato or farm cucumber. So these are how people do. You just come here wearing suit and tie, ignorant people, proud and arrogant. You are poor and proud. Double jeopardy. Look at this meeting now, they will not come. But if we are calling phone number now, we are pouring all on their head, they will be here, everybody will be falling and breaking chair. It is well.
Wow. So I imagine that there is somebody who is a sole proprietor here. And I mean, they've been bootstrapping on their business. But they can't wrap their head around the concept of somebody else bringing money and then taking part of it. I think it's a cultural thing. There seems to be a mental blockade around that. How can you help us divorce ourselves from wanting to own it all?
Okay,
and
yeah,
then benefit?
you know, Laluko and Sons, Ikechukwu and Sons, is a mindset. And that's why, like I said earlier on, you need mentors. Sometimes you just need somebody to help you see clearly. You just need somebody to help you see better. And I think data helps when people see statistics and data. So I will advise everybody right now, once you leave here, go and do a research. How much of the platform Amazon does Jeff Bezos has? When you check Amazon and you check Jeff Bezos, you see that he owns less than 20%. How much of Facebook does Mark has? Less than 20%. How much of Microsoft does Bill Gates have? Less than 20%. By the time you see all these multi-billionaires that are founders, founder does not mean owner. They are founders, but they have sold 50%, 70% of what they own to other people. And the 10-20% they have is in billions. So once you begin to think from that perspective, that's why I brought it down to Mama that is paying 5% to Lapo or paying 3%. They are paying. If somebody can from that petty trade pay 60% return, abba, what that tells you is that if I give her money, I can collect 30%. And everybody will be happy. She will be happy that I halved our interest, and you will be happy that your interest is giving you 30% guarantee. And we all move on like that. So, and these are things we have tested and proven. So for that person, it's just for you to be in the right environment or have the right mentorship or right tribe that will help you see clearly and see differently. All these family business, say that I want to start business for my family, they are all expired theory. Starting a business because of your family is a recipe for disaster, a recipe for poverty. Because the children you are raising right now, they are being raised in a different world. I can tell you, I have a lot of billionaire friends now. Hospital for sale, chamber for sale, university for sale, school for sale, fuel station for sale, properties for sale, farm for sale. The children are not coming anywhere. They have told their father, forget it. We are not coming, sell it. Because you use your money to send them abroad. Now they have gone there, they would rather stay abroad and return. And now you are left with all the houses and they are not coming back. Many of the people that they use, when I was in school, I went to school in Ilorin, in Omukpo. Then, so when we're going, there's Dodo Ikire, there's Akara Osu that we use. So those people that they use Dodo Ikire and Akara Osu to train, they are all in banks and multi-chips. They are all there wearing suit and tie and poor. Are you not supposed to go to school, then bring the education back and go back to that Akara and take the Akara to the next level? But they abandoned what brought them. So they left their birthright and now they are eating what is not their own. So it's all a function of being in the right tribe that will help you see differently so that you can do differently.
Wow. Wow. Okay. To be candid, it's loud out there that this country is not doing well. I mean, that's the loud narrative. I mean, but to listen to somebody like you makes you rethink. Because again, the voice out there can make you take the wrong choices. Yeah. I would like you to speak to young people here. Maybe, I mean, they just started earning. And some of them perhaps are favored, lucky to even have salaries. How can somebody live such that they are able to shut out the noise? Because what you just described now, in terms of opportunity, does not sound like it's happening in Nigeria here. Yeah. Hospitals for sale and all of those things. So how do you live outside of the noise?
Okay. Now please listen and listen well. Nigeria is one of the best countries in the world. You only have to understand to understand. Nigeria is one of the best countries, one of the richest countries. Now, when we talk about riches, the human capital is huge. The mineral resources, huge. So the problem with many of us is our mindset and our association. Listen and listen well. Every money on earth is still on earth. Money does not travel. Money does not go on holiday. So when you say there is no money in Nigeria, you are a liar. Because they have been stealing money for 60 years. The money has not finished.
Come on.
So that mindset is your problem. That's the virus. If you say there is no money in your pocket, you are right. If you say you don't have money, you are right. But to say there is no money in Nigeria, you are a liar. Because people, if there is no money, what are they going to do there? They will start again. Next year, they will give you 5 bags of 5 kgs rice, empowerment rice, and take another 4 years of your life. But they continue to make the money. So Nigeria, because there is money in Nigeria. Number 2, in Nigeria, you see, crisis creates opportunities. Money hides in problems. So because of the myriads of problems that we have, that is myriads of opportunity and myriads of money to be made. So once you understand that, it will go a long way in helping you. But if you think that the grass is greener on the other side, it's synthetic fiber. There are people that have traveled out now and they have realized that it's not as easy. They can't come back again because they can't even afford the ticket to return. They can't come back because there's nothing to return to. They have sold everything. And all those noise is because of, number 1, your mindset. Number 2, your association. If you are moving with people that are telling you, okay, let me know. I have a paper in my pocket I would have loved to read. I just came back from Jos yesterday.
You can take your time.
This was given to me by a youth corper. So gave to my PA gave to me, so I just read it in the car. So I was reading it. He's a youth corper. He said he met me in Enugu 3 years ago. And I was speaking about fractional ownership. How that you can gather your friends together. He said, so he called 19 of his friends. And 20 of them started putting 5,000, 10,000 together. He said he's happy that right now he's doing its youth service now. And they have 4 plots of land that they have bought and paid for in full. If they continue like that, the land they are buying for 500 today may end up becoming 50 million in 10 years' time. That's how it works. It's because he saw it. He's not thinking of Japa. I have a young boy. He's the youngest member of the Billionaires Conclave. And what does he do? He has just finished school. He's also a youth corper. And this year alone, he has done 8 million. Where did he get 8 million from? Online. He's an engineer. And then he goes online and he tells people, I can do your structural drawing. I can do this for you. And that's all he does. And people engage him. Why? Why did the students get that idea? He was in the right environment that they told him you can do this. So as long as you see, anything you cost cannot bless you. When you say Nigeria is a cost country, you can't make money in Nigeria. When you say Nigeria is a useless country, you can't make money in Nigeria. So as long as you keep joining people to cost Nigeria, Nigeria cannot work for you. And you cannot convince me otherwise. When I know people that are doing billions. I have a daughter, Ejalonta. This year alone, she has done 5 billion as a April. You know, Ejatita. And you are telling me that I will not get. So What are you telling me? So it's for you to have the right mindset and then the right association. So that no matter where you are, you begin to find out where are the problems that I can solve. What is value? Answering questions, meeting needs, and solving problems. Most of the things people are complaining about, if one person can just take responsibility to solve the problem, he will become richer than the other people. That's all. So please stop looking at Nigeria from the lens of all the noise. Shut the noise with the right mindset, get information, read books, and then have the right association. Because all this, it's my background. You don't, no. You can't use your background as an excuse once you are 18 years old. Once you are 18, you have become the background, though. By the time you give birth to your first child, you are now an ancestor. Because one of the people. So where your ancestors has failed you, you cannot afford to fail your descendants. Be talking background. It's an excuse of failure. So take responsibility for your life, because no one will plan your life for you without your involvement. No matter how terrible you say Nigeria is, people are making money because there are still problems to be solved. Find the one you can solve and money will flow.
Before we move to the next, I want to ask a very pivotal question. I mean, you help entrepreneurs across industries. And here, we're in the world of AI. What is your overarching perception about AI? And I want you to talk to young people here. What is that important thing about AI that they must have in mind to be able to leverage it appropriately?
In 1999, as we were moving towards year 2000, we went through what is called the Y2K bug. Oh, Y2K, they say, 000, the world will come to an end. Everything will reset. Oh, you must learn computer, you must learn. So we went to learn desktop publishing. We learned everything because we wanted to be Y2K compliant. After a while, they say, oh, it's a WhatsApp, you must know how to type, you must know how to do. So listen to me. The first thing you must understand is that AI is not coming to take over anybody's job. AI is not coming to take over anybody's business. But those who know how to use AI will take over your job and take over your business. Because AI is working based on what somebody has programmed it to do. So you must learn to use AI. So as we move forward, we are moving more into the technological age. So everything you do in brick and mortar, take it online. Take it into the e-commerce level. Take it into the technology level and look for AI tools that will help you to leverage and automate them. And that's the future. When I came here today now, I brought physical book. I brought USB. So that if you don't want the physical one, you take the USB one, you download the PDF, you listen to the MP3. And I told you there's a university online. If you don't want physical, you go online. That's the way it works. So whether it's physical, USB, or online, we are using technology. When you go online now, there are AI Olumide Emmanuel. So I'm talking now. Now there are versions of me online that is an AI version, teaching. When you go online now, when I'm speaking in English, AI takes my words, changes it to 15 other languages. So as I'm popular in Nigeria, I'm popular in nations of the world. The same thing you are hearing me say in English, AI is translating it to 15 other languages. And they are inviting me all over those countries to come to them. But I'm in Nigeria here. That's what you do. You use AI as a technology to enhance whatever you are doing. Because the word system, SYSTEM, means save yourself time, energy, and money. So whatever will save you time, energy, and money is what you should be doing. That's the system. So AI is a system. Find out what is taking my time, what is taking my energy, what is taking my money. Look for the tool that will help you to do that, and you have your leverage.
Thank you. Money is spiritual. And we've heard so many things from so many speakers here today, and even people all over. I want to ask a question about, at what point does an entrepreneur pay tithe? Do you tithe your business revenue, or you tithe your own salary from what your business pays you?
Okay, now there is a difference between personal income and corporate income. So as an entrepreneur and a kingdom businessman, you have to recognize that you are separate from your business. So we advise every kingdom entrepreneur must earn a salary. You must have something you earn every month. The fact that you are the owner of the company does not mean you should just begin to spend it now, because you should be thinking of building a company that will outlive you. And without corporate governance and proper system and structure, you are running a family business, not a sustainable business. A survivor mindset cannot build a transgenerational business. So you earn a salary, you have bonuses or whatever that comes to you. That is your personal income. You tithe from that. So for your personal income, everything you get, you tithe from that gross personal income. Now, for your business, you don't tithe from your gross income. You tithe from your profits. Now, Grace was trying to explain that earlier on when she said you buy it for 10,000, you sell for 15,000. Turnover is not profit. That's why a lot of people get into problem. Turnover is vanity. The only sanity is profit.
Come on.
So you can be having turnover and you are still poor. Why? Because by the time you buy for 10,000, you sell for 15,000. You have not factored in taxes. You have not factored in your rent. You have not factored in salaries. You have not factored in your overhead costs. You have not factored in storage. You have not factored in cost of repurchasing and all this stuff. So at the end of the day, you are supposed to have sold that thing you bought for 10,000. You are supposed to have sold it for 30,000. But by selling it for 15,000, you are already in debt. But cash flow is coming in. So in a company, you must know what your turnover is. Then you must know what your overhead is. Then when you separate your overhead, whatever is now left, that's where you tithe. That is called a corporate tithe. That's different from your personal tithe. So if you are a Christian that owns a business, you may not be able to tithe every month. Your tithe may be once a year. After you have done your annual income, you now look at this is the income for the year. You now tithe. For some kingdom business people, the kind of business they do is such that they already know the profit per item. You understand now? They know the profit per item. So you are a fashion designer. You know that if somebody brings me to sew boo-boo for them and I charge them 80,000, I know that everything it will cost me, I've calculated it. That for everything I'm going to do to prepare this boo-boo, I'm profiting 50,000. So I know that per boo-boo, 5,000 is my tithe. So I give you an example. I do a lot of businesses. Like the palm tree now, we pay tithes on this palm tree every month. But my other real estate company, we pay tithes once a year. But the reason we can pay tithes on palm tree every month is because from day one, we have sat down and we have calculated that, okay, we are selling this for this amount. This is the cost of this. So we know that for every 1 acre we sell, this is the profit. So every month they are paying tithes. Do you understand now? It's different. For my books now, for instance, as I'm writing a book, I tithe upfront. Why? When I print a book now, I already know that, okay, I'm printing 5,000. This is my cost price. This is my selling price. I just divide. I know that, okay, if I finish selling this 5,000, I'll make 70 million. That means my tithe is 7 million. So as I launch the book, I just gather 10 million. I pay the tithe in advance. It doesn't mean I will still not pay, but just to at least save myself, and then favor will begin to flow. Can we have 100 copy? Can you come and speak here? Because you understand the principle. So it is not a one size fits all. Separate yourself so that your own is constant. But for your company, depending on the kind of business, you do it either per item, per week, per month, or per annum.
Wow. So last question before I let you go. If your grandchildren, if you want them to learn one thing from you, what would that be?
It's simple. Let money work for you instead of you working for money. So by the time they come, they will realize that money is waiting for them before they came. And that money that is waiting for them before they came, they must let the money continue to work so that generations after them will also call them blessed. So if they can think of me, not from the point of breaking a generational curse, but enjoying a generational blessing, that's the same thing their own children should think of them. Because think about it now. I've been in the church for about 40 years of my life. I've been a Christian for about 40 years. Now I have 3 children. My last born is 13 plus. Are you telling me now that after being in church for that long, my children will now come to church, they now say, oh, yeah, let's pray. Every altar of your father's house. It's a useless prayer to them. Because I am the altar. And I'm not an evil altar. I have cleared the road. So the prayer I pray, they shouldn't be praying. That kind of useless prayer. The prayer they should be praying is, Lord, give me this mountain. They should be praying to take generations, to take territories, not to break a curse. So when you are a Christian, you have been born again for 20 years, 25 years, your children were born in church, you are still breaking altar of fathers, and both you and your children, you are confused. The theology you have listened to is a corrupted virus. Because which curse are you breaking that you couldn't break for 25 years, that your children still came to inherit it? It's time to move from generational curse to generational blessing. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, put it together for Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. Thank you very much, sir. Please, photographers. Thank you very much. I'm leveraging more. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for... I didn't see you coming.